Live from the Gray Center Studio A, this is Bronco News Now. Featuring news with Mackenzie Weedle and Danielle Schenk. Sports with Joe Brown and Jared Fox. Entertainment with Kelly Cruz and Devin Wetland. And weather with Taylor Van Pelt. This is Bronco News Now.
Hello everyone and welcome to Bronco News Now. I'm Mackenzie Weedle.
And I'm Danielle Schenk. This week we will get to know a Hastings College professor who was recently inducted into the Hastings High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Look back at the alumni panels on campus during homecoming week and learn more about concussions and related health issues in football.
But first, our top story today. Hastings College is a temporary home to a large amount of international students. Hannah Conlon, a business major from Belfast, UK, is one such student. Reporter Tyler Murphy has the story.
For a school just over 60 miles from the most central location of the lower 48 states, Hastings has an incredible amount of diversity. Students come from all over the Midwest and even as far away as California and Hawaii to attend school here. But there is one group that is represented surprisingly well for such a small school in the middle of Nebraska. They are international students. Hannah Conlon came to Hastings College as part of the Study USA program in order to study business as well as take part in the theater program.
Mine's quite unique in that I'm on a course called Study USA, which is through the British Council at home. So I applied for a Study USA scholarship, and they actually partnered me up with Hastings. You have to study business on it, and that was part of the reason I applied. And then they asked me what my interests were. I'm big into music and theatre, and they decided Hastings was the place for me.
She explained that this isn't just an opportunity for Irish students, but for Americans as well, through the Irish American Scholars Program.
The Irish American Scholars, and it gives American students the chance who are in participating colleges, so Hastings is one of them. Even if you don't have a student there in a particular year, you can apply to go to Northern Ireland to study for a semester or a year.
For HC Media, this is Tyler Murphy.
We have many other international students on campus as well. What a great opportunity to share the American culture with those from overseas.
On Saturday, September 26th, Hastings High School held its first induction ceremony for their Athletic Hall of Fame. One of the inductees also happens to be a professor here at Hastings College. Reporter Russell Heitman has more.
Hastings High School recently held its inaugural Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Some of the honorees included Tom Osborne, Roy Bassett, and Hastings College's own Doug Phelps. Phelps, who was a professor of education at Hastings College, graduated from Hastings High in 1975 and was the first Nebraskan to clear the 7-foot mark in the high jump. He won 3 straight gold medals at the state meet in high jump and broke the state record 5 times. Phelps says he was honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with the other honorees and says the ceremony was a great way to see how athletics affects the Hastings community.
It has kind of a community feel to it, especially at the ceremony. When I started visiting with a lot of the people that were there and talking to parents of athletes that I competed with, or talking to children of athletes I competed with, you see multi-generations and just the importance that athletics played in the lives of the community.
After high school, Phelps went on to compete at the University of Nebraska, winning the indoor and outdoor high jump for the Big 8 Conference in 1978. He then became a high school teacher and assistant track and basketball coach at Lexington High before arriving at Hastings College. However, Phelps stays humble, saying his greatest success isn't his athletic or coaching accomplishments, but instead his family.
My most proud probably of my family. I look at my kids and their spouses and my grandkids, and I see them participating in athletics, enjoying being in the classroom, enjoying studying and learning, and that makes me feel real good.
Phelps also enjoys seeing his students be successful as well, saying his students, along with his family, are highlights. For HC Media, this is Russell Heitman.
Congratulations, Professor Phelps, on your induction into the Hall of Fame.
In light of the recent tragedy at Umpqua Community College in Oregon, Hastings College would like to provide the safest environment for all of its students and faculty. The current safety plan here at HC is being revised by administration to ensure the safest and most up-to-date preventative techniques are in place should an emergency event transpire. In the meantime, take the necessary safety measures by parking in well-lit areas, traveling in groups or pairs when on foot, locking all of your cars when unoccupied, keeping up with monthly rave email and text alerts, and reporting any suspicious activity to public safety to keep the campus culture safe and friendly. Here at BNN Hastings College, we would like to give our condolences to all of the family and friends affected by that tragedy.
Several Hastings College alumni returned for homecoming week to share their advice with students in a series of forums called Campus Connections. Organized by Holly Sabatka, students were invited to attend specific panel discussions related to their majors. The alums shared their experiences with current students and gave advice on how to approach the Hastings College experience, as well as preparation for their careers. The panels ranged from art to communications to athletics.
I guess for me, staying in Hastings was one of those things I was really unsure about and got a lot of grief about. You know, why do you want to go to school in the same community that you grew up in? But I really felt like the community was, I mean, it's still its own. I mean, even though it's in a town of 25,000, it's still its own community. And I just got to meet a lot of people, you know, from big towns, big schools, from small, you know, and just get a lot of different, you know, perspective. And I think get to know people a little bit better because it was smaller. And I think just being a part of the basketball program was huge for me also.
More information on the speakers and their messages can be found at newsbureauhc@wordpress.com.
An alarming trend has been developing in high school football according to the National Center for Catastrophic Sports Injury Research. 118 students have died from sports-related injuries from high school football in the U.S. from 1982 to 2013. In 2014, a total of 5 high school players have died. Evan Murray of New Jersey passed away in late September due to a lacerated spleen he incurred during a game. Murray was reported to have walked off the field in his own power, but later felt dizzy and was rushed to the hospital after losing consciousness on the sideline. The most recent football-related death occurred on Monday. Kenny Bowie of Seattle was taken to a medical center after sustaining a head injury during a game. Bowie's official cause of death has been yet to be released.
Injuries at all levels seem to be a major part of the game when it comes to football, not just in high school, but college too. Head injuries specifically are becoming more and more prominent due to the presence of concussions and are even causing some players to give up the game. Such is the case of Hastings College offensive lineman Tyler Schuster, who has to give up his senior season with the Broncos due to his history with concussions.
It sucks, first of all. I got hurt the first game against Bethel. Just tried to deal with it. I kind of got caught up in the action of the game and didn't really take enough time to think about what had just happened because it was so close of a game, and just kept playing. Didn't feel that great the week after Bethel. Played against Concordia. Still didn't feel very good. Probably felt worse afterwards, and I thought, it'd probably be a good idea to say something. It's scary. I think just thinking about it, and I feel like there's always new studies and new data coming out about how dangerous the game is, and sort of some of the CTE stuff is really concerning, and I guess it makes you think. And as far as, I think it made the decision maybe a little bit easier that I was a senior and I didn't have that much football left to play anyways if I would have kept playing.
For more information about Tyler's decision and concussions, head over to hcmediaonline.org.
After the break, our favorite weather anchor, Taylor Van Pelt, will give you the forecast for the week as well as her new segment, Taylor's Temperature Tip.
But first, we would like to thank our proud sponsor, Subway. Stay tuned, you're watching Bronco News Now.
And now for your weather with Taylor Van Pelt.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Taylor Van Pelt, and I've got all of your weather needs. This week is going to be a nice one with sunny skies and little to no precipitation. But before I get into the 5-day forecast and today's temperature tip, let's take a look at today's weather forecast. Today's weather should be beautiful with high temperature will be 78 degrees with winds out of the west blowing from 5 to 15 miles per hour. Hold on to your hats though, as there may be gusts of up to 20 miles per hour. Moving into this evening, temperatures will drop to 48 degrees with a 30% chance of rain before 1 a.m. You can expect partly cloudy skies with winds continuing to blow at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And now let's take a look at the rising temperatures across the state. Chadron with a high of 60, Scottsbluff with a high of 61, and Sydney with a high of 69. Moving into Valentine with a high of 60, North Platte with a high of 71, and McCook with a high of 79 as well. Moving a little bit closer to home, you can see Norfolk with a high of 71, Lincoln with a high of 81, and Hastings with a high of 78. And now for the state lows. Chadron with a low of 42, Scottsbluff 44, Sydney 43, Valentine 42, North Platte 43, and McCook with a low of 45. Again, moving a little bit closer to home, Norfolk with a low of 44, Lincoln with a low of 50, and Hastings with a low of 48. And now let's take a look at the forecast over the next 5 days to see what we have in store for the week and into the next week. It looks to be a beautiful week this week. So for your students staying on campus over fall break, there will be great weather for relaxing outside on the hammocks. Looking ahead to tomorrow, there will be a high of 69 degrees with a 10% chance of rain. You can expect another beautiful day with sunny skies and a slight 5-mile-an-hour breeze out of the northeast. Friday night, we will see a low around 50 degrees with mostly clear skies and winds from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now moving on to the weekend for your fall break. Saturday will continue the trend of nice weather with a high of 80 degrees and sunny skies throughout the day. Expect winds from the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday night will bring a low of 86 degrees. With winds coming from the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Temperature will continue to climb on Sunday as temperatures will reach a high of 86 degrees and there will be a slight breeze from the southwest and sunny skies throughout the day. Sunday night will have a low of 58 degrees with more slight wind. And now to start off the week, the lovely weather will continue as we can expect a high of 72 degrees with very sunny skies and a breeze coming from the northwest. Monday we will see a low of 50 degrees with mostly clear skies. And to round things off, Tuesday will have a nice high of 76 degrees with sunny skies and winds coming from the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Finally, on Tuesday night, we will see a low of 52 degrees with clear skies and a slight breeze. And that's this week's 5-day forecast. It looks to be a beautiful week on campus for all those staying home over fall break. And now it's time for Taylor's temperature tip. This week's tip is for all the students who might be going home for fall break. As the cooler weather approaches, even though this week still looks to be pretty nice, my tip for you is to switch out some of your t-shirts, tank tops, and shorts for sweaters, long sleeves, and pants. For those of you who may not know, Nebraska can get kind of chilly. Actually, it can get really cold here. So I might recommend bringing gloves, mittens, scarves, hats, parkas, and of course, Uggs. It might not be a bad idea to bring either. You can thank me later. And that's Taylor's temperature tip of this week and all the weather we have for you. Up next, Joe Brown and Jared Fox will preview Broncos soccer and football for this weekend, as well as bring you their newest segment, Top Plays of the Week. Stay tuned. You're watching Bronco News Now.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
What I do could be a vital part of
Sports with Jared Fox and Joe Brown.
Welcome back, Bronco Nation. It's time for all things Bronco sports. I'm Joseph Brown.
And I'm Jared Fox. Today we'll be previewing upcoming Hastings College soccer and football games, look at how volleyball fared on Pink Night yesterday, as well as introduce our brand new segment, Top Plays of the Week.
Our top story this week, the Hastings College men's soccer team will be forced to replay their game against conference opponent Concordia University on October 23rd due to a rule infraction. Corey Westra, the commissioner of the Great Plains Athletic Conference, said the NAIA received and upheld the protest by the Concordia University head coach, Jason Whitus. Westra said the illegal substitution set up Hastings' first goal of the game and therefore played a significant impact on the outcome of the game. The Broncos will replay the Bulldogs at Lloyd Wilson Field on October 23rd.
The Hastings College volleyball team looked to avenge an early season loss to the Concordia Bulldogs on Wednesday's Pink Night match. BNN's own Taylor Van Pelt was at Lynn Farrell Arena to take in the action.
The Hastings College Bronco volleyball team played their 9th GPAC game against the Concordia Bulldog. Yesterday's volleyball game was in memory and support of the courageous men and women who have been affected by breast cancer. The Broncos volleyball team swept the first set, but after the first 5 points of the second set, it was clear that the Bulldogs would not go down without a fight. The third set didn't fail to impress either. After a tough fight, the Broncos did end up claiming the victory in 3 sets, making their GPAC record 7-2. The game kept Bronco and Bulldog fans alike on their toes with many rallies and lots of back and forth points. The game was definitely one to remember. A Bronco junior, Jennifer Clout, rose to the top in last night's game, getting 10 close, which was the most of the night. Jill Bax was also a standout in tonight's game and is not only a 2-time reigning GPAC Sports Defensive Specialist of the Week, but she also led the team in digs, getting 13. On the flip side, Claire White for the Bulldogs also had a great night, getting 10 kills and 10 gigs as well. With HC Media, I am Taylor Van Pelt reporting.
Congrats on a great win in honor of an even better cause. The Bronco football team picked up a big win last Saturday over conference opponent Briarcliff. The Broncos fell behind 12 points early, but after that it was all Broncos and freshman quarterback Cruz Samaniego, who threw for 410 yards and 3 touchdowns, as well as winning GPAC Player of the Week. After compiling a season high of 567 total yards against Briarcliff, the Broncos will look to duplicate that success as they take on the powerful Morningside Mustangs this Saturday. The third-ranked Mustangs are currently 4-1 overall and 3-0 in GPAC play. The game kicks off at 1:30 p.m. in Sioux City, Iowa.
The Broncos soccer teams have both been rolling lately, as each team has sizable winning streaks in conference play. The women's teams enter play this weekend at 7-4 with a 4-0 conference record, while the men are sitting at 6-3-1 with a 3-0-1 conference record after the women won 5-0 and the men won 7-1 against Dakota Westland during homecoming. Both teams took to the road for a midweek matchup last night at Doane, and both picked up victories, with the women winning 3-1 and the men winning 3-0. The two teams will head to Sioux City this weekend to take on the Briarcliff Chargers. On the women's side, Briarcliff is 4-5-1, while on the men's side, the Chargers have a 5-4 record. Kickoffs are set for 2 and 4:15 Saturday afternoon.
All right, fantasy football owners, it's time in the show for your Fantasy Football Minute with me, Jared Fox. With Week 5 quick approaching in the NFL season, it's never a bad idea to insert a sleeper into your lineup to give you that spark you need to beat your roommate. With the receiving core of the Ravens depleted and up-and-down performances from Joe Flacco all year, look for Justin Forsett to receive most of the workload and put up points this Sunday. Carson Palmer went 9 straight games with at least 20 fantasy points before last week's 18-point performance. And this week, I expect him to start a new streak as he takes on the Lions, who have not shut down a quarterback at all this year. Giants receiver Ruben Randall has scored in 2 straight games and could be a nice option in the number 2 receiver spot this week against the 49ers. Broncos tight end Owen Daniels could be a sleeper this week as he takes on the Raiders, who have struggled at defending the tight end position in the red zone. This has been your Fantasy Football Minute, and good luck this week, everyone. Well, with homecoming this weekend, we had quite a lot of sports action going on.
With that in mind, here are our top 3 plays of the weekend. Our number 3 play this week comes from men's soccer.
Your HC Media top plays are brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh.
This first play comes from men's soccer against Dakota Westland. Daniel Whitehall is set up perfectly for the diving header. The Broncos take the win 7-1 over the Tigers.
Number 2 was a combination of 3 plays as Taylor Geis was able to get 3 goals against Dakota Wesleyan to give herself a hat trick. That's her 3rd hat trick of her Hastings career. Geis now has 8 goals on the year, which is tied for the team lead, and the Bronco women won 5-0.
Now on to the number 1 play. It's a big one. Here's Austin Drews with the call.
Yard line.
Diego's got Curley deep. Curley past the 50, 45. Curley inside of the red zone. 10-5, touchdown, Hastings College.
And Jared, that 99-yard pass ties the GPAC and the NAIA record and set the Hastings College record as well. After the break, Kelly Cruz and Devin Wetland will discuss some of their favorite fall things. Also, reporter Jordan Brown talks to his HC friends about their favorite Halloween festivities. Stay tuned. You're watching Bronco News Now.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
And now, Entertainment Heaven with Kelly Cruz and Devin Wetland.
Good morning, Broncos, and welcome to Entertainment Heaven with Kelly
and Devin. Today in Entertainment News, we will be talking about all things fall and taking a deeper look into some movies that are about to hit the big screen. And fall is upon us, and I don't know about you, Kel, but I'm super excited for this weekend because it's fall break. Do you have anything fun planned?
Yeah, I'm so excited too. My mom is actually coming to town, and we're going to visit some family in Lincoln. We're going to go to the Husker game Saturday, so that should be a good time.
That'll be really fun.
But really, I'm just excited to catch up on some sleep, some Netflix shows.
Yeah.
What are your plans?
Well, I'm actually going home to Colorado, so I'll get to see my family and my dog, which I'm super excited about. And I'm also going to visit my grandparents, who I haven't seen in a while, so that'll be really nice. But mostly I'm just excited to get to sleep in. So.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I'm jealous, though. I don't get to go home to Colorado until Thanksgiving, and I miss the mountains and my dog so much.
Yeah.
But we do know there are a lot of athletes and students on campus who can't leave for fall break. So for those of you staying in Hastings this weekend, we have some ideas for how you can make the best of your weekend.
That's right. As Taylor said earlier, the weather this weekend will be great, so I would definitely suggest spending some time outside. You could go for a walk around Hartwell or Hastings Lake, or maybe you could visit the Country Harvest Pumpkin Patch, which is in Glenville, which is super close, so you don't have to drive very far. But if you don't feel like doing that, you could also just relax and spend some time cozying up and watching a movie. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a little bit, we'll also have some movie suggestions that you can go see in theaters. And those are all great activities outside, too, that will make for a fun and relaxing fall break. You know, Devin, I just love fall. The leaves start turning pretty colors, the weather begins to cool down to that perfect temperature for comfy sweaters. But there's something about fall that's better than both of those things.
What's that?
Pumpkin spice.
True.
You know, what do you think the fascination is with pumpkin spice? Like, I totally take part in it, but I just don't fully understand it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, for me, it's just, I love all things pumpkin. Pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice lattes, candles, candy corn, all of it. But, you know, pumpkins for carving.
Yeah.
I guess pumpkins are just in season, so maybe that's what all the talk's about. But I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'm not complaining either. I love pumpkins. And speaking of pumpkins, there's only 24 days until Halloween, and I'm so excited. Halloween is by far my favorite holiday, and I can't wait to go out and dress up and get a lot of candy. And I know I'm not the only one who's excited on campus, though, so reporter Jordan Brown went one-on-one with some Broncos this week to find out what HC loves about Halloween.
Hey Broncos, I'm Jordan Brown. I'm here in the Student Union interviewing students about the Halloween season. All right, so Ferg, tell me, what is your favorite Halloween movie?
My favorite Halloween movie gotta be The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love that movie. I gotta get it like that. Yeah.
I love the Addams Family movies. Addams Family and Addams Family Values.
Insidious. Insidious? Yes. What is your favorite Halloween memory?
I think when I dressed up as Big Bird, just because it was fun.
Would probably be when I lived in England and I went trick-or-treating, and I lived in an old village with only like old people, and so they didn't realize it was Halloween, and so they gave me money instead of candy, so that was probably the best.
Probably trick-or-treating around the square of my hometown.
What's the best costume you ever wore for Halloween?
Frat cat.
What's a frat cat?
Well, I dressed like a frat kid, and then now my name is like Frat Cat.
Gotta be when I dressed up as the Naked Cowboy.
My older brother dressed up as a Tin Man, and I dressed up as a Scarecrow, and my little brother dressed up as a lion. So,
what's your favorite candy?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with probably Snickers or Reese's.
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 Cadbury's chocolate bar.
Reese's Pieces. Yeah.
Wow, all this talk about Halloween has me really excited for the holiday. But moving on, there are some new movies about to hit the big screen and some releases you might want to check out this weekend.
That's right. The Martian will be in theaters this weekend if you're looking for a cool sci-fi drama. The movie follows an astronaut played by Matt Damon who was left behind on a mission and presumed dead. However, after making contact with his crew back on Earth, they realize that he's actually alive and begin an intense rescue mission to bring him back home.
Yeah, that sounds like a crazy movie, but I think
so too.
Should be good.
Yeah, well that's all we have time for this week, so thank you guys for tuning in.
This has been Entertainment in Heaven with Kelly
and Devin.
Stay tuned, you're watching Bronco News Now.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC. Or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
That's all we have for you this week, ladies and gentlemen, but thanks for tuning in. And we would like to thank our sponsor, Subway.
We're off next week due to fall break, but we will be back on October 21st, and we will be covering the Artist Lecture Series Speakers on Campus.
From all of us here at Bronco News Now, we hope you have a fun and relaxing fall break. Have a great day, everyone.
Good.